see the straw. What is up, everybody? It's me above zero, and today with me is
Trey High Man.
And we got another episode 21.
21?
21.
21?
So we got a couple of articles for you today. Number one is talking about MLG. This is written by Callum Leslie.
Callum Leslie. By the way, Callum Leslie's a real popular writer today.
He's going to be talking about Rocket League. That is also wrote by Callum Leslie.
Callum Leslie.
Rocket all League these League. Articles are on the Daily Dot. And we got stuff talking about the LCS. We decided to, since our juicy little tidbits were always like roster changes of the LCS or like something to do with like reformatting or whatever, we're just going to call it the LCS tidbit from now on. And we're talking about the TDK trade, wrote by Jacob Wolf, the Forgiven Staying, wrote by Callum Leslie, and
Callum.
Giants Changes.
Also by Callum Leslie.
Go ahead. Tell him what's up with the LCS right now.
Today's LCS tidbit has a lot of roster changes. Renegades, the last place NALCS team, also known as the Relegades, also known as probably not going to be an LCS team next year. They also John's favorite team. They're kind of ass, and
that was the first team icon I ever bought.
Oh my god. Anyway, they've made a trade with the Challenger team, former worst place LCS team,
which
TDK.
Was my former favorite team.
His former favorite team, TDK. So they have traded away they have traded away Flares, the top laner, and Alexish, the mid laner, for Seraph, TDK's top laner, and Ninja, TDK's AD
Ninja's
carry.
back.
Ninja's back. And also, TDK acquired Trace somewhere in there too, but he probably won't be starting for them. But so this is a trade between two terrible teams, both of them trying to improve how terrible they are. Also, last week we reported on H2K leaving the LCS probably forever to join the military. But
well, I mean, not H2K, but Forgiven. Continue.
Oh, my bad. Forgiven leaving H2K. And this week we received news. Callum Leslie received news that his military stay was pardoned and he will be able to stay in the LCS for at least another year. So we'll be seeing more Forgiven, and he stays on H2K. That is the non-roster change in our roster change section. Now, Giants, the worst place EU LCS team, who I kind of like that team, but they're a little ass right now.
That's right. I like a lot of ass and A
They've
teams.
completely changed around their roster now. Their top laner, Adam, their jungler, Bettenjak, and their AD carry, Audrey, have all been cut. They're no longer starting for that team or part of that team. They're being replaced by Smitty J from Dignitas, NA Dignitas, the guy that got replaced week 2. They're replacing their jungler with Wisdom, who's from Korea, and their AD carry with Sonstar, who's from Korea. Now,
so they're banking on Korean solo queue stars. Also, two bad teams trading old players.
Yeah, basically we've got all the bottom of the pack teams
they're trying to like pick up new players and maybe it'll mesh or they gotta try something.
Also, in an unrelated note to all of these roster changes, but currently Giants and Rockhead are tied in last place. If both of those teams lose every single game for the rest of the season, in the very last game of the European split, those are the two teams that play. So that game could be deciding who gets instantly relegated and who gets relegated.
I thought they
later.
got rid of auto relegation.
No.
I heard.
Did they? Well, regardless, that could determine who's in last place and who's in second to last place.
I really want it to be like the NFL, to where like you draft players and you got like a bench. I think that would be really fucking cool.
They'd have to change a lot in order to do that, though. There's also probably not enough talent.
Well, I mean, not in NA, but
not anywhere.
All right, so our first article
particle, smarticle
is talking about MLG, and they actually sell out of okay, well, you know how they got bought by Blizzard and Activision? This is the second CS:GO event that they're running, and they have sold out the tickets before the event has actually started. Now, the reason I really wanted to talk about this is because, like, okay, Activision makes Call of Duty.
Okay.
That is a first-person shooter,
Right.
and they are running CS:GO events. I feel like there would be like a conflict of interest. Also with Blizzard coming out with Overwatch, I know that's like a class-based first-person shooter, which is more like a TF2, which doesn't really like combat CS:GO because CS:GO is more of like a Call of Duty, but like more realistic. So I don't know. It's interesting that they continue to run out the events, and I mean it's a good thing because I mean they sold out. When they picked up MLG, I thought for sure they were going to stop running CS:GO events. Like, the reason they didn't run CS:GO events is because MLG had the partnership with Call of Duty, which was, like, the only thing keeping them alive. Like, we knew that they were running in the red forever. Like, they weren't making money for, like, the past, like, 5 years that they were alive. But after Blizzard and Activision picked them up, I mean, they have a prize pool of $1 million for the CS:GO tournament, and there are more teams than any other major that CS:GO has had this year. So I mean, I know it's only 3 months in, but
Yeah.
I mean that's very impressive that what Blizzard and Activision have done with a failing company that they picked up.
See, I do think that it's kind of strange that Activision's actually running the CS:GO tournaments, but when push comes to
Well,
shove,
technically MLG is, but they own it. Yeah.
but I think it's less about like our game competes with this game. I honestly think that CS:GO is a PC game,
Yeah.
and Call of Duty is the majority a console game.
Well,
And like those markets, they don't really like. I mean, not to say PC Master Race or anything, but it's just like they don't really mix that
although
well.
it's true.
Regardless, they don't really mix that well. Also, I also think it's pretty much just about making money, and they make more money running the CS:GO events than they do not running the CS:GO events.
And also, I really like this. Like, when you think about it, if you're gonna go up to a sponsor, right? Like, let's say we go up to Razer and be like, "Hey, we do this show. We would like to do blah blah blah," right? They'd be like, "No." But if we're able to say like, "Hey, we cover League of Legends, CS:GO, Call of Duty, and StarCraft," like
And we
all of those.
consistently get the same amount of viewers on every
Like,
video.
It's
One.
more like it's more attractive to sponsorships because it's reaching more than just one community. So the products could be sold to, like you said, the console people, the PC people, the people that play RTSs, first-person shooters. And with Blizzard and Activision picking that up, where Blizzard has Hearthstone, they have StarCraft, they have World of Warcraft. I mean, there's not tournaments for that, but you know what I'm saying? Like, it's more attractive to sponsorships to want to give them the money for the tournaments, and I think that's really, like, smart business decision by them.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, Blizzard wouldn't be as successful if they weren't smart, though.
Yeah, Blizzard basically leads. They're the leader. Follow the lead. So, what I'm going to talk about today is a new partnership between the developer of Rocket League and Twitch.tv, you know, that really obscure site that sometimes people watch things on. The developer of Rocket League has approached Twitch, and they have agreed and partnered with to create an RLCS, which has nothing to do with League of Legends. It's the Rocket League Championship Series.
Wow, that sounds very familiar.
Yeah, I know. It's like they almost stole the name from something. I can't think of what else though. Regardless, this is actually a pretty exciting development because when Rocket League was released in like June or July, there was so much hype. Like, the game was super popular. Everybody was playing.
Wasn't it like #1 on Twitch too?
It was. I don't know if it was #1, but I think it was like number. It definitely didn't.
It was in like the top 3.
It definitely didn't pass League of Legends.
But it was in like the top 3 though. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, still. I mean, if you look at it, it's still in like the top 10 games for on Twitch. Possibly.
No.
Yeah. It depends on who's streaming and what times.
I don't know about that one.
I mean,
I don't think it's been in the top 20 since about August, which is exactly words that I'm getting out of the article. So, yeah. Regardless, as I was saying, it was super hype when the game first came out, and then like that hype really fell off really quickly. But the game is fun and entertaining, and it's competitive. So I think it'll make for some really entertaining Twitch TV viewing. Also, just a few other miscellaneous facts. The prize pool is $75,000 right off the bat. It's open to any 3-player team that can survive the open qualifier, and it's a 3-month season.
I mean, I might as well hit up Sam and be like, "Yo, you wanna play for $75,000?"
I doubt you guys will be good enough to compete with some of the already existing professional Rocket League teams.
Now, I do want to talk about this because like Rocket League is a very entertaining game. Like, it's very simplistic. It's like, what's that game? Skeeter ball, skate.
Foosball?
No. It's like the floating puck. And then you hit it.
Air hockey?
Air hockey.
I'm not even gonna let you finish talking, and I'm gonna hit my next point.
It's kind of like.
Anyway, so it's definitely a game that has a really low barrier for entry, but a high skill ceiling. So like anybody can join and start playing, but if you get good at the game, you can get really good at that game. That's why John will never be a competitive player.
No,
listen. There are several organizations like SK Gaming and a few others that already have pro teams. So I'm pretty sure we know which teams we'll be seeing, at least a few of them. But up until this, those pro teams have only been competing for like $100 prizes and really small tournaments. But now they have a professional league that they can participate in, which is really cool to see more esports just popping up everywhere. They'll qualify. They're already pros.
Alright, so anyways, the point that I was going to make, it's kind of like air hockey, but like 3D, and it's like very high, right? No,
nothing like air hockey. It's kind of like air hockey, but it's nothing like
It's like if air hockey had a dome, and like the ball, it was a ball instead of a puck, and you had cars instead of the speeders, right? So now, the reason I feel like the game like just fell off in viewers. No, listen.
Oh wait, this might be something that makes sense.
The reason I feel like it fell off in like viewership and like the interest in the game, like it's still on the competitive like rank side, which is what most people play. I mean, although not a lot of people are very good at it. But it had that like one arena just like reskinned like 5 times, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you basically play the same thing over and over and over again, but it's not like League of Legends or Dota where you're playing on the same map with like hundreds of champions. It's the same arena with these same cars.
It's more like an actual sport,
and over again.
It's a lot more similar to like soccer or football where you have the same rules every single time, and just whoever outperforms their opponent wins.
But
there's no variety, I guess. But the variety comes from the individual skill of the players and the decisions that they make.
But the point that I was gonna say, like, what piqued my interest in playing it again, and like, I guess like I think viewership has been getting higher. I don't know if that's true or not.
I don't think so, but go on.
But they've added more arenas. Like they've added chaos, they've added hockey, and it changes. Like it's not just the same arena. They changed how it works.
No, they added more.
It's kind of like Heroes of the Storm, where like there's not just like Twisted Tree Line. There's like multiple maps for you to play on, and each one has like a strategy that you play.
Yeah. Okay. I feel you. Well, that'll definitely help the development of that game in the future, and I'm definitely interested to see where this goes. I like watching people play Rocket League. I don't play it myself, even though I kind of wish I would. I just every time I see it on sale, I'm like, I'm not gonna spend the money. I'm too cheap.
It's really good if you have a controller. If you don't have a controller, it's real bad.
Okay. Well, I also don't have a controller.
Well, I mean,
regardless, let's move on to our outro.
Alright.
Everyone, so thank you very much for watching this episode
Alright,
of
well,
Esports.
now that it finally started recording, thank you for watching this episode of Esports Upload. So the articles, once again, they're all on the Daily Dot. The MLG sell out, the Rocket League post, Forgiven, Staying, and Giants challenges are all wrote by Kaloum Wesley on the Daily Dot, and the TDK trade was wrote by Jacob Wolf. Do you have any closing thoughts for this episode?
I feel really stupid that I just started talking when I hit the button. Okay, listen, I need to give you some background here. When I push the button to start recording, it doesn't start recording immediately. There's some green light somewhere that I don't know where it is, but John does. So usually, when I'm the first person that's supposed to talk, I'll hit the button and then John will like tap me or give me some sort of signal so I know when it starts instead of showing me where this green light is. So I just forgot that time, hit the button, exploded talking, and then looked like a complete idiot. And you know we're gonna keep this take because I haven't stopped cutting yet. I haven't hit the button to stop recording. What are you doing?
You're explaining things.
I know, but like, regardless,
I do have one more closing thought if you're done.
I'm done.
Alright.
But this is dumb.
No. The talking about Rocket League real quick, since you cut me off before I was done. I think it would be interesting. Now I know it probably won't happen, okay? But if you took those fun maps, the arcade maps, and it was more like a veto system, kind of like in StarCraft, where they have like the 7 maps and you can veto 1 or 2, depending on if it's best of 3 or best of 5.
Yeah, kind of like banning champions in League of Legends.
Yes, I think that would be really cool, and I feel like, even in CS:GO, you can ban maps that you don't want to play on.
Yeah.
So like, you play to your strengths,
Well,
and you know at least one team is gonna get one map.
Now that makes sense if they're using all those arcade maps. But the thing that comes in with those arcade maps is they're not designed for competitive play. They're designed for fun play. So they're gonna stick with the competitively balanced arena. That makes sense.
I just thought it was a cool idea.
The entertainment and variety comes from the skill of the players, not so
And the
much
commentators and the talent that they have surrounding it.
Precisely.
Adios.
Well, let's not end it so abruptly. I'm still kind of torn up about what happened to start this tape. But regardless, adios.